Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glen and Yong.
Merch Minds podcast, episode number 38. My name is Glen. I have a YouTube channel, Hustler Hacks, and my co-host, Yong, is here.
Hello.
And he's finally going to share some numbers today.
Finally going to share my numbers up to this point, and yeah, it's been you guys been waiting for it for a while, and I know a lot of people are excited.
Yeah, a little riled up, waiting.
Yeah, actually, why don't you go first? Okay. First of all, is there any news you want to share? How was your trip to Austin?
Oh, we didn't talk about that, huh? Well, I was a little sick. I did get
sick,
yeah, got a little better. Austin was cool, just super hot.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like I think the first 2 days it was just ridiculously humid. It got better though. It's cool seeing my brother out there, and then I'm gonna be going again in like 2 weeks. He's getting married. He's taking that, the huge jump, the huge plunge, and becoming a man. So
he's becoming a man.
Grown-ass man.
The grown-ass man. Did you tell him I might crash the wedding?
Yes, I did. He's looking forward to it.
He'll be like, security.
I don't get this guy out of here.
Who is this guy? So Austin was cool. Yeah, you know what? I haven't done much this past weekend. For me, man, was just a lazy weekend. Really just working on designs and just working on other things that I got going on. So, but yeah, I mean, I do want to make an announcement.
Okay.
Denver is pretty much set in stone. Yes.
Yes, I'm actually getting my tickets right now. Actually,
Hey,
I'm gonna get.
hold on.
I know.
We need your focus on the show. Okay, you can buy your tickets after the show.
No, I said I am right now after the show.
Man, this guy. I've already purchased my tickets. I don't have the dates in front of me. Let me just double check. I think it's October 4th through the 9th, which is basically Thursday through Monday.
Yeah.
So Glenn and I will be out there. We'll do a meetup or two, depending on how busy we get and what we end up doing. But so if you're in the area, we would love to meet up with you guys. I mean, Glenn and I just love meeting people and just talking merch and just hanging out. And we're two cool dudes, in my opinion. I think I'm a little cooler than you, but that's just, again, just my opinion.
Older, but I'm about cool.
Oh, that's just harsh. That's just harsh. But yeah, man. So yeah. How's your numbers, man?
All right. Let's get into the numbers. Let me log into the account. Before we get into that, letting everybody know that designcandy.io is the place for you to get high quality Merch by Amazon t-shirts. You have slots open. You need to fill them up. Go to designcandy.io. Get 2 free designs when you sign up, and let them know that Yong sent you there, and you're going to meet him in Denver in the flesh, and you're going to take a picture with Yong, a selfie, and you're going to put it on Instagram.
Yeah. That's not going to do much, but okay. Who the hell is this guy?
Who the hell is this dude? So yeah, getting into the numbers. Well, actually, I do have news. I did get an email from one of those do not reply Merch by Amazon type of things, right?
Huh?
Yeah, and it says, let me tell you this real quick. Yeah. Subject: Merch by Amazon compliance violation.
Oh.
And it says, "Dear," and there's no name. "We're contacting you regarding your Merch by Amazon account and your designs you have submitted, blah, blah, blah." And it says that they have, gotten rid of a t-shirt removed. And this t-shirt I do not have. I never designed and I never made.
What the hell? So did you look it up?
Look up the shirt?
Yeah. Well, no, I guess you can't look it up because they removed it.
Yeah, it's already gone. But I
Yeah.
did look up some other groups, and forums and even our own, and it looks like some other people also got this same email from a random thing. The thing is that, I mean, it doesn't say dear so and so, you know, like your
Like
business
dear Glenn.
put in. I don't think it would do that. I think it would give you like your business name that you first put in when you applied. That's what it should give you. And then
I
of
don't.
course
Yeah.
in there it does tell you like click here to learn how to delete live t-shirts, which of course
That's a
I didn't click.
phishing thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I
Okay.
didn't click anything. But it does make me wonder, I guess, like who and what and how they're getting emails. But if you did get one of these, please be careful. Don't click on anything, and especially if it's a t-shirt that you did not make, you're not familiar with it, do not listen to these phishing emails. Don't let them get you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because right when you just said that, I logged into my Gmail and I'm looking. I don't see anything.
Okay. Well, you're
So
safe, I guess.
okay, for now.
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're probably just trying to fish those big baller merch by Amazon accounts. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
well,
Just kidding.
well, we'll see
Just kidding.
about that.
I know. Yeah, actually, this month, getting into the numbers, really, really low for me. I took a huge hit compared to last month. The month before that, I actually increased from the last month, and then now we're back to decreasing
Huh.
for the numbers. So it was like down, up, and then down again. So hopefully next month back up. But one of the things that we kind of talking about before, and a lot of other people were talking about it in different groups, was the handling time on Amazon. That kind of changed. If you look at any of your shirts right now and see if because usually they create the shirt and ship them out and tells you what, like 2-3 days or something, maybe within 4 days. But looking at most of my shirts now, it says like, you know, you won't get it until July 5th, which we're looking at an extra how many days are in this month?
Well,
28.
that won't be until next Wednesday. So
Yeah, so you're looking at a good 7 days, and usually they're a lot quicker than that. So I think a lot of people had, I guess, some, I don't know, theories in there of why sales might have been slowing down, besides the fact that Father's Day is over with, but that might have something to do with it. Who knows? I don't know. Obviously, we took a hit. I remember one time we were texting, we were like, dude, what happened? Like
oh
one
my
of the days,
gosh.
yeah, one of the days
It
was
was
like slow.
it was unreal. Yeah. No, because I remember when I was in Atlanta for the conference, I remember talking to you and I was like, yo, man, I'm doing like 30, 40 shirts a day. And then last week when we were texting back each other, it was like I was doing like 12 a day. So imagine going like 30 from 30 shirts a day going down to 12. I was just
Yeah.
like, what happened?
And then
But
even less. I mean, some of the days I think you told me you had like 11 or
it was one day it was 11. It was horrible, man.
yeah. So they really took a hit after Father's Day. One of the times I was just like, I would just seeing the number just decreasing day by day, like the 7 day. And I was like, man, what is going on? So today's the 28th. We got what, like 3 days left of this month?
3 days left. The day's
Yeah.
not over. It's 5:10 Wednesday Pacific Standard Time. So we still got some time left for the day today, and then we still got 2 more days, 4 days left in June.
Yeah. So it looks like the numbers are finally starting to like creep back up, at least the last 2 or 3, 4 days, I guess. Like today I have like 20 sales. We've got a lot of time. It's like 6 p.m. So if I can finish with the 30, I'm kind of 30 to 35 has been like the normal for the last 3 months, but it's been going, you know, up and down, up and down. So hopefully you can just get back up. But as far as numbers go, I'm pretty sure I'll finish this month like probably right at like the 4,000 mark for this month, which is low for me. The lowest I think since, I'm trying to go through my account here.
Wait, so you said you might close out the month at 4,000?
Maybe barely tip
Like
of the iceberg
3,800,
4,000.
3,800 to 4,000.
Probably, yeah, probably
Okay.
38. 4,000 would be probably at the highest, which would be my lowest since April of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, all those other months I've made at least like 45 and higher, like 45, 5,000, 6,000 and above.
Yeah.
So it was a huge hit
I mean,
this month.
even if you were doing 45 and you do like 4,000 this month, that's still, I mean, some people might say, oh, that's not that much, but $500, man, that's a nice car payment.
Oh yeah, I know. And I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm going to try to get all my numbers from, I guess, since I've ever joined merch. I want to be able to say, hey, I've earned 6 figures on merch, but I think I'm still like 20,000 away or something. So eventually, if everything goes good, everything goes smooth, I'll get to that point like later on this year.
Okay.
As far as like actually taking home, over 100,000, but still got some time. But
Yeah.
I think this month, Yong might actually overthrow me on sales and earnings. Tell us
All
your
right.
ways, sir.
Drum roll, please.
Small drum roll.
Did you just fart?
That was my drum roll.
Oh. Yeah, so I think this is what everyone's been waiting for. Well, everything just everything just blacks out.
Static and
Static.
stuff. Oh crap! I guess next week we'll have to talk about Yong's numbers.
So like Glenn said, we still have 2 more days left. But as of now, it's gonna be super close. Like it's gonna be paper thin. Like I'm either gonna come under $4,500, which again, for most of you that's been listening since the beginning, you guys know that I've been wanting to make $4,500 in royalty by the end of June, and it's gonna be super close, man. I'm talking paper thin. I'm either gonna fall short or I'm gonna barely go over. Right now, I'm at $4,260. 629 shirts sold for the month. So it'll be super close. But I'll actually, if you guys signed up for my email list, you guys know that I give out my full detailed income report. So in a few days, I'll send that out, and you guys will know. If you subscribed, you'll know if I meet that mark or not. But it will be super close. But I will say this. However, I will say this, Glenn, I told your ass when we first started doing the podcast that I was gonna surpass your numbers, and I'm finally surpassed you. I did more than you. Not only did I do more than you, I did it with a lot less shirts. What do you have to say about that?
I'm proud. I can't say anything bad about it. I'm super proud. You might have won the battle, but the war has just begun. And not only that,
the war just begun.
And not only that, we have to talk about numbers as a whole. So when that gets to that point, you let me know, because it's gonna take some time.
Yo, don't
next month, I'm gonna make sure
don't take away my spotlight, man. Okay,
no, I'm giving you
I
full
surpassed your ass for the first time. Yo,
I know,
man, this
I am
is a
proud.
great feeling. This is going down in history, in merch history, as one of the greatest moments.
Chiseled in stone.
Yes, I told you from the beginning of the podcast that I was going to surpass your numbers, and man, did I blow you out of the water. I blew you out of the water, man. I told you. But yeah, so it'll be super close. It'll be super close. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But yeah, man, I only have 441 shirts live,
Nice.
and that's what's
Like I said,
surprising. Now, I think next month, obviously, I think the numbers are going to go down as I've been predicting.
yeah.
Youngstradamus, um, and my predictions so far have been they've been pretty solid. Um, and yeah, so next month we'll see about next month. But I think, well, I know my numbers are going to go down significantly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we do next month, man.
Yeah. Let me give you a golf clap at least. Just
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
this small, short clap.
Thank you. See,
Congrats.
people can't see me on the video right now, but I'm waving. Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Young. Welcome to the club too. I've been waiting for a while, waiting for you to join us.
Pipe down, dude. Pipe down. But today's show, we have a really interesting show. Chris, he is in our group. He heard our episode about 3 episodes ago on
Mhm.
Fiverr, and I had extended an open invitation to anyone, challenge invitation to anyone on Fiverr providing a service on Fiverr to reach out to us to come on the show and talk about their experience as service providers. Yeah, so he got in contact with us. He wanted to talk about his experience on Fiverr, and and here's the thing, guys, you guys know how we feel about Fiverr, but at the same time, we have to respect him, and I ask the listeners as well to respect his comments. Please do not say anything negative. He's out there just like us, hustling. He just happens to be on a marketplace that we don't recommend. But yeah, Glenn, any comments before we get into the interview?
Let's get right into it.
Okay, guys. So today's guest is Chris. Now, Chris is coming all the way from the UK, Manchester to be exact. And Chris, he is someone. A few episodes ago, we did an episode. Glenn and I did an episode about why people should not be on Fiverr, and I extended an open invitation for anyone on Fiverr.
Open challenge.
An open challenge, and I asked them if they wanted to be on the show and maybe give their opinion on why Fiverr is a good marketplace. Chris accepted our invitation, our challenge, and he's here. First of all, Chris, thank you so much for being here. I know you and I were talking moments before we went live, and you said it's midnight over there, and plus you just moved into a new location, so I know how difficult that is. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And again, just to let the listeners know, we're all adults here. Even though we might disagree on certain things, we are gonna respect one another. But I've told Chris and Glenn knows. I mean, we might disagree, but we are gonna ask some tough questions. And Chris is okay with that. And so yeah. So Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, I'm assuming you're on merch, and just like we ask most of our guests, what is your tier, and how are you doing as far as sales?
Yeah, so I'm currently on tier 1000. I was actually accepted to merch on day one.
Oh my gosh, since the very first day.
Probably even before Glen. But I got lazy with it. I just didn't really know anything about it. I just applied and I kind of forgot about it. And then I got a friend tell me kind of how much work is on. So that's when I pulled my finger out my butt and started to get into merch. So I got into merch about October 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they brought in all the limits, all the tier limits. And I was like, oh my God, I missed out a big chunk of real estate with it. So instead of like uploading a bazillion slots like everyone else, I could only upload 2 a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but in terms of sales and stuff, I'd say this month I've done nearly 300 sales. I don't want to go exactly into the numbers, but yeah, I'm making a living on merch. I'm not like rich from it, but it's paying the bills. So
it's paying the bills. Okay.
Yeah, it's under $2,000 dollars. It's not under $2,000.
Okay. Cool.
It's like per month or just like in since you've joined.
Per month. So I expect it to be a little bit more next month because I'm still uploading new designs.
Are you seeing any significant growth though? Like is your numbers getting higher and higher?
I use a tool called Merch Tools, and that you can see like the graph. I don't know if you've heard of it.
What is it?
So it's called merchtools.com.
No,
merchtools.com.
Maybe I have heard of it. I don't know. I tend to not to use any of those plugins.
Yeah, basically, it's a Chrome extension. It's actually been vouched for by some experienced guys. It's
Okay.
It's pretty safe. But like it could change when you get a sale and stuff. It's pretty cool. But it's got like a little section with some analytics, and you can see where you started, and you can see the progression over the months. And each month, it's just going up and up and up and up and up. And I can see it
good.
That's a while. So.
That's what we like to hear, man. Well, let's get right into it, man. I mean, I think obviously people want to hear the conversation between why Fiverr, why you think Fiverr is a good marketplace. First of all, would it be okay if we share your profile with our listeners?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. I'll have that in the show notes. But for the record, your Fiverr profile name is
Pebble85.
Pebble 885.
Yeah.
Okay, Pebble 85. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Glenn, do you have any questions?
Well, I guess a little bit about yourself and how you got into not just merch, but just in graphic design in general, graphic design background, anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, I didn't go to school or anything like that. I'm just a bit of a hustler. So like, I just watched YouTube videos. I self-taught myself. I purchased Photoshop, started taking some Udemy courses, just kind of invested into my education really. I don't have any college degrees with that, but my designs like they sell for me, and they sell for other people,
Okay, and Glenn and I said this plenty of times. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're self-taught, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I've said this so many times. I've seen so many really, really talented designers, and they're all self-taught. So that's not what we're criticizing you about. But looking at your profile, Chris, it says that you graduated with a BA in graphic design from the University of Manchester. So aren't you kind of misleading customers now? Because you clearly stated that you're self-taught, but on your profile you're saying that you went to college for it.
I think when it comes to like people's CVs and stuff like that, I think people tell a few little white lies like that, really, just to kind of stand out from the competition a little bit. It's I don't really take it seriously. I don't think many people read that really.
But I mean, you see what I'm trying to get at, right? You're kind of misleading people into saying that you do have a degree in graphic design when you clearly just stated that you're self-taught.
Well, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I didn't want to leave it blank, so.
Okay, that's fine. And in the past, when you first showed me your profile, you told me, you said, that's not my photo. Is there a reason why you were using someone else's photo on your profile?
Yeah, I was on Upwork. I was doing freelancing on Upwork. And a client found me on Fiverr because they recognized my picture.
Okay.
Okay, so they refunded themselves on Upwork. I went to Fiverr, and then my Upwork got shut down because before I took payment on Fiverr. So the reason why I took the photo down was because it was getting me into trouble.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that. And now you currently have your own photo, but you are, for the record, you are covering your face, so
Yeah.
the guy wouldn't obviously recognize you. Okay, I can totally respect that. Glenn, do you have any questions?
So I think the last podcast, or maybe like 2 or 3 of them ago, we talked about Fiverr, and I think Yong asked me like, why do you think people might put that they're from the US or located in the USA? You told us that there's like, small little white lies in there in the world of Fiverr. Like in your case, you said with the degree. Why do you think people put just like different info on Fiverr? Do you think there is like a competitive edge by saying located in the US or have a degree in something? Or
yeah, I guess like I think people see freelancers. If you're hiring a Western freelancer, you're gonna get a more honest sort of production of work, really. Whereas, paying $5 for a t-shirt from some guy from India, you don't know if he's like sharing designs. I think it's more of a psychological thing that Westerners produce better work. I know that's not always true.
That's not, yes.
I think people are gravitated towards the Westerners. So I'm not surprised a lot of normal sellers, they use they pretend to put pictures of girls because girl profiles with girls in it, they get more clicks and stuff like that. So
is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, that's still the truth, So yeah,
sex sells.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like YouTube where we put a picture of a big pair of breasts. It's going to get clicks.
Yeah.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, whose photo was that you used?
It was just a stock photo.
Just a stock photo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. How long have you been offering these design services on Fiverr? Because merch is about a year and a half old now, and I'm just kind of curious how long you've been offering these design services.
I'd say from Christmas.
Since Christmas, so that's we're in June, so about 6 months. Okay.
And what kind of traction have you seen? Like every single week, or do you have like a lot of gigs that are piling up, or how's it going?
Yeah, it's gone absolutely crazy for me. I've had to increase my prices so much to slow down orders.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you've been offering your services since Christmas, so that's about 6 months now. Now, when did you start watching like Udemy courses, and when did you start actually teaching yourself how to use Photoshop and Illustrator?
I can't think of the exact date, but I used to hire myself, and then I decided to just learn it myself and keep the cost down, and also learn a skill.
But when did you start learning all that? Like, when did you actually sit down and say, okay, I need to learn how to use Photoshop, and I need to learn how to use Illustrator?
I'd say probably like November or something like that, before Christmas. I can't give you an exact date, really.
Okay. See, and again, no disrespect to you, Chris, but so you said you started teaching yourself all these skills, and I think that's awesome. But you have one of your gigs, you say, you have about 8 or 9 gigs. And one of the gigs, you say, I will make custom Merch by Amazon t-shirt designs, which is fun, which is cool, whatever. But then you claim you've been doing design for 3 years. Again, that's kind of misleading people, right? You just told us you've been doing it since November, but now you're telling us you've been doing it for 3 years.
So, like I said before, when people apply for jobs, do you think everybody tells 100% truth, or do you think they kind of impress themselves a little bit on their resume? Do you think everybody tells?
Well, I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for Glen or anyone else.
Speaking for yourself, but
I'm pretty honest in my opinion.
Okay, but I'll tell you, I'd say majority of people they exaggerate in their resume.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay, Glen, do you have any questions?
So let me see let me go into, where am I? We talked about sales. I'm looking at my notes to see what kind of questions on it. We already talked about that too. Okay, so I'm going to One of them that has on here that's doing pretty good. I guess apparently it's a bestseller on your page, which is I will make fast quality merch by Amazon t-shirts that sell. And you have some like bullet points, why you choose me. One of the bullet points says no copying, at least 50% different. Can you explain what 50% different means?
Yeah. So what people do, you go to Amazon, you look for the BSRs that have made money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just create a different version of it. But if it looks too similar, I think that's not really helpful for Amazon. But let's say I find the concept, and then I change the word slightly or change the phrase slightly, but it means the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by that is the percent, at least 50% difference or completely different. But I'm not just kind of emulating 100%. What I'm trying to say with that is I'm trying to make things a little bit different just so Amazon doesn't have a page full of similar listings. So I'm giving the option to have a listing that just looks a lot different from the rest of the list,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And as far as like the fonts you use, the design you use, where do you usually get all of your stuff from? Like fonts and or graphics or icons or anything like that?
Yeah, I usually use the commercial, the free commercial ones, like from DeFont and stuff. I also use a lot of the standard ones that come with Photoshop. So I don't really buy many fonts. I don't think you need to.
Okay, so now are you, again, there's nothing wrong with using the font. Now, are you actually reading the license on a lot of those free, on those fonts? Because a majority of them, from my opinion, from my experience, they're for personal use only. So I was just curious if you're actually going in and reading
you can filter commercial ones. So I filter and I give them a read, but I don't really buy many. I've got a couple, but I've only got a couple, and the rest of them I use these standard ones in Photoshop. But the ones that I have downloaded, that I've made sure they're commercial use.
Okay. So it sounds like you're using Photoshop and Illustrator. Are you using any other softwares? Like I know of PicMonkey, that's what Margaret uses, and I know there's a bunch of other softwares out there.
No, I think you do everything you need in Photoshop and Illustrator, really.
Okay. What version are you using? Creative Cloud, or is there? Are you using a Creative Suite version?
I'm not sure. Let me have a look. I think it's the Creative Suite. I just downloaded. I just bought it. I've not even looked at the name of it really.
Yeah, no, it's all cool. It's all good. But basically, you're not paying a subscription fee, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm still on CS6. I'm about to upgrade here shortly to.
I think I'm on CS6 as well. I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talked about the font. Now I forget. Did you mention like are you creating your own graphics? And if not, where are you getting these graphics from?
I use some stock photo websites. I think everybody goes to Pixabay. I used to use Pixabay a lot.
Okay, are you still using Pixabay?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Glenn, you have any questions?
Where was I? Okay. So another gig that you have is like make keywords for Merch by Amazon t-shirts. So you're talking about the bullet points, the description, all of that. So how well has this I guess gig been for you, or which one do you think is a little bit better for you, the keywords one or the design one, or both, as far as like the customers go? And have they enjoyed this keywords one?
I made a gig that provides the design and the keywords, so it's like, I've made it as like ready to copy and paste, and that's becoming really popular now. It's not got as many sales as my other one, but it's probably going to be my best seller soon, because I think that gig is perfectly tailored for people who they've got jobs, they're very busy, they just want to upload and copy and paste, and eventually get sales. Yeah. So it's kind of for the lazy people, really, that gig.
Do you ever get worried that, I guess, any customer might come back and be like, "Hey, this thing or this shirt didn't get approved," or
Yeah,
these
it
keywords
is
have to
annoying
be picked
because
off or something.
sometimes they change the keywords and stuff like that to what they change stuff about. But I have some like disclaimers that after I've done this to the best of my ability. I do occasionally make mistakes. Please do your own trademark checks
Of
before
course,
you.
yes, always.
Yeah, I'm very safe like that. And the other day I got a customer come back, saying it's trademarked, but I think he changed the wordings and stuff like that. But it was like some 4th of July shirts,
Yeah.
and he was saying the design got rejected, but he did the keywords. So I'm like saying it's probably your keywords because I did my best job for the 4th of July design.
Mm-hmm.
He was in control of the keywords and descriptions. So, and I told him to double check the words, and he's not got back to me. So I assume it's okay now.
Never got back to you. Okay.
But like I said, I'm very safe with my disclaimers. I'm like, I make mistakes. I've done the best of my ability. You should triple check them yourself. I am not responsible if anything happens to your account.
Okay. So you do add that disclaimer.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How long does it take you to do a design typically? So let's say, for instance, I'm a customer. I just bought one of your gigs. I want a T-shirt made. How long does it take you typically?
Kind of depends. Well, if they pick the custom design and they've got instructions, those take a lot longer because there's a lot of back and forth revisions with them. But my best-selling gig, I provide the research, and I'll pick designs that I think I could make superior.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a really top quality design, I it's going to take too much of my time.
Okay, but then let's say on average, just on average, I know everyone, some design might take you 10 minutes, other designs might take you 30 minutes. On average, typically, how long does it take for you to do it?
I'd say between 20 and 30 minutes.
20 and 30 minutes. Okay. Like when a client approaches you or buys your gig, like after they tell you what they want, do you automatically like have an idea of what you want to do, or do they tell you?
If they pick the custom gig, they've got to give me instructions, and I do my best to kind of go back and forth with instructions. Mm-hmm. So that's why that costs more than my research designs, because when I research my own, I get to pick and choose basically. And I use the same method for my own merch by Amazon account, and I know I make sales. I know a lot of my customers are repeat customers because they come back, mm-hmm. and they tell me they've got sales. And I'm not just saying that. I'm just telling you.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Because the reason I asked that is because even for my own personal designs, and I do, I mentioned this in the last episode. I have picked up some freelance work just for friends. This isn't something that I'm offering to the public. I'm offering my services for friends. And I'll tell you right now, sometimes it takes me, and maybe it's just me just being just, what's the word that I'm trying to use? Maybe it's just me trying to be perfect. Sometimes it takes me 15, 20 minutes just to go to the fonts and to pick the fonts that I want to use. So I was just kind of curious how long it takes you, but you said it takes you about 15 minutes or so on average.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do. Well, say I'm targeting pug niches, I'll type in pugs in Google, click on images, and I'll eyeball the fonts that in the results.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a very cutie font, I'll pick my cutie fonts. I don't overthink it. I think simple sells. And I make simple designs. I'm not sure if you're a bit of a perfectionist.
I'm too much of a perfectionist. That's actually one of my flaws, man. It's like when I do something, it has to be perfect. Yeah. That's something I need to work on.
Yeah, that's not me. I pick, if it's a cute design, I'll pick a cute font. I don't overthink it really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Glenn?
So I guess with we get the question a lot as far as like people that know nothing about graphic design, and they're just like, can I really do good in merch and things like that? Do you really think that great design matters in merch or not?
I don't think so. I you know what? I I've self-taught myself to make really, really good designs, and guess what? I actually reduced my quality because it's so annoying spending 2 hours on a design and it doesn't even sell.
I've been there, done that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like, I have like minimums now. I've got to spend at least 20 or 30 minutes and then move on to the next, because if customers want to pay me more, I'm happy to provide hours of work on one design. But a lot of customers, they don't want to pay $50 for one design.
True. Yeah. But see, so my answer to that would be, and I've said this, many times now. Like in the very beginning, I used to spend hours and hours on just one design, making them really elaborate, and then, like you said, no one would buy it. And then I was playing the numbers game. I was just putting up just simple designs because I wanted to upload as many shirts as I can. But then obviously they put a limit on that now. So now I'm kind of like in the middle, right? I'm not doing too elaborate of a design, but at the same time I'm not making them too basic. So I'm spending about, at most, maybe a couple of hours on one design. That's why I said I'm only able to upload 3 designs per day now. So I still think design does matter. I don't think I think simple designs do sell, but you can still make a really nice design and simple, but you would still have to put some time into it. Wouldn't you agree, Glenn?
I think it's a combination of both, of having like really, really good designs and then scaling up, adding more, but also mixing in like just simple, like super simple designs too that you could probably offer at like a lower price. I think those combinations, but I mean, I would never support bad design. I don't think bad design is going to help, but I do think that a good mix is really what brings in the money.
Although I will say this, I've seen some really bad designs on Amazon, and then when you look at it, they have a rank, so someone's buying them. And I always ask myself, I'm like, who the heck are buying these? Yeah, I mean, so sometimes poorly designed shirts do sell. Um, do you kern your text at all?
Talk to me or Glenn.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I was talking to you.
Yeah, I do curves. I do, I play around with curves and stuff like that.
No,
Depends on.
not curves. Kern. Do you kern your text? Kern?
No.
No. Okay. Because I look at your I'm looking at one of your designs here. It says um what is it about the those fidget spinners thing? I forgot. I don't have your profile up, but you have a design on your profile that says fidget spinners matter or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the kerning on that is really bad. I have to say it's off. And if you're not familiar with kerning, that's the spacing in between each letter, and that's one of the basic fundamentals that people teach in design. And my suggestion to you would be, if you do want to take this seriously, maybe considering kerning those letters and make it clean and make it even.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yes, absolutely.
I've always thought you used Design Candy. Is it Design Candy?
Design Candy.
So is that what you use, or do you design everything yourself?
No, I design everything myself. Glenn and I both have a design background.
All right, so you're just promoting it.
And Yong does have the service though. I mean, he does use it. A couple. You have how many shirts from them, Yong?
Oh gosh, I got like 4 or 5 shirts. But I just, like I said, I've gotten into the habit of just doing my own designs, but I do use them. And Glenn's obviously seen the designs, and he agrees they're really nice designs. Glenn, do you have any questions before we continue?
I think, man, what was the question that I had? I gotta find my notes. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
I know. I'm trying to find this. Go ahead, Yong. If you have another one, I gotta find my my question.
Okay, no, it's all good. So, Chris, I saw another gig. You have a $50 gig, and you say that content creators can get tiered up to 500 in 1 month. Does that come with the money back guarantee? I mean, do you guarantee that people can get tiered up to 500 within 30 days?
Yeah, if they follow the advice in the book, it will happen.
Okay. So it does come back. It does come with the money back guarantee, though. If basically
on Fiverr it does, because Fiverr controls it, so
okay,
you can get a refund.
So when I first posted that episode, you commented on the post, and there was a sentence that you wrote. Fiverr, and I'm quoting what you exactly wrote. Fiverr attracts the lowest paying customers like eBay. So if you wrote that, why would you sell your services on Fiverr? Why can't you go somewhere else? I mean, why can't you go back on Upwork and maybe just change your photo on there? Because I heard Upwork is a little more reputable than Fiverr.
I got banned on it. I can't make a new account because it's my IP address. So Upwork was my favorite place, but now Fiverr is the next best, I guess.
Do you mind? Do you mind if we ask why you got banned from Upwork?
I told you previously that a customer found me on Fiverr by recognizing my picture. Remember me telling you that? Yeah. So the client refunded on Upwork because he found me cheaper on Fiverr.
Oh, okay.
So Upwork reads your messages. So they thought I took payments. They thought I got the client to go to Fiverr, even though I didn't. Why would I want to give the same designs for a lower price on a different platform? You know.
I got you. Okay. Glenn,
do you ever consider, I guess, or is it already happening to where like you're focusing more and more time doing, I guess, everybody else's designs and then not really having a lot of time for your own? Or is it, or how is that going with time?
Yeah, like I said before, I had to increase my prices to slow down orders so I don't actually decrease quality on my own merch accounts, because that's kind of my main baby right now. So I don't mind increasing prices.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying before, I do gigs on Fiverr, not for the lowest price. I am one of the highest prices, so I'm not on that low end of the scale. So going back to what Yong was saying about why am I on Fiverr selling my services, but Fiverr, there's a low price and a high price point. So I think if people would just search Fiverr highest price point and the average reviews, you're going to get more legit sellers.
Yeah, no, and I've always said, I mean, sometimes, you find that diamond in the rough. It's just Fiverr in general as a marketplace I think is really, really frowned upon from the design community. I think if you were to go out and ask any reputable designer, whether they're self-taught or they went to a university, and you ask them about Fiverr, they'll probably laugh in your face, or they'll probably say nothing but negative things about it. And I'm being honest. It's just Fiverr in general has just such a bad reputation. And what I was suggesting is, if you really believe in your service, if you really believe that the quality of your designs are good, then maybe try other marketplaces. And I'm sure there's other sites like Upwork out there, but
yeah, I'm on them all. But you just
okay
about my Fiverr, so I'm here.
Okay, but it sounds like you're getting the most traffic from Fiverr. Yes.
Yeah, well, like Fiverr is my biggest earner.
Okay.
So I agree. Like if you Fiverr can be the worst place ever. So I don't disagree with that. I just think if you're smart with it and you search by average reviews, you're going to get some legit sort of sellers. But this is not just Fiverr we're talking about here. It's the same with Upwork and all these other freelance websites you're talking about. If you're paying $5 per design, you've got to expect. You can't be surprised when the designer makes you, stolen designs or whatnot. So, you pay for what you get, really. So it doesn't matter if it's Fiverr or Upwork. If you're going to pay the lowest prices, you're going to get the lowest quality work.
Yeah, but I believe at least on Upwork, you have the opportunity. I think the service provider, they can actually provide their real websites on their profile, so you can look at their actual profile, right?
Yeah, I think you can do that with Fiverr. I can put.
You
I think I
can't do
can
that
put
with Fiverr.
in my
But
profile. I see a lot of people putting like the website links in their profile. So
yeah,
I've got my own
exactly. Okay.
I've got my own website as well. But it's kind of new actually.
Okay. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Is that okay? I didn't want to kind of I didn't want to like name drop it. I've got a website called merchcomplete.com.
Merch Complete.
Yep. .com.
Okay. And I'll have that in the show notes as well.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Merch Complete. Go check them out. Glenn, if you have any other questions.
Well, I do agree. I guess the part where, I mean, you get what you pay for if you're going with like the lowest, price. But I think someone asked me on a live show, like, do I think that graphic design is like going downhill because of or graphic design and graphic designers, freelancers, all that stuff? Is it going downhill from the combination of Fiverr, even Upwork to free tutorials and everything?
Mhm.
My answer is no, but my input is just that I think graphic designers themselves, if they're underselling and they or they want to go to Fiverr and they want to price their design at $5, I mean, they're just underselling themselves. They're just not really giving themselves a lot of I don't know, like, just I would do exactly that, is build up your own following and website, and the work speaks for itself. Then you can really just charge what you really want and get that money that you really want. But I've seen a lot of designers just kind of fall back and just give in kind of, and just go to the default and get the lowest, what they can, and really put in a lot of work to get 450 back or something.
It might, and I have to disagree with you there, Glenn. It might not have impacted or affected the design community. Is definitely is in my opinion, it has hurt the market, because I feel like sites like Fiverr and Upwork, and again, I don't know too much about Upwork, but those sites have really, I mean, the whole globalization of the market, right, has really saturated the design community. I mean, and I mentioned this in the episode 3 episodes ago. I mean, you go on Fiverr, and graphic design is like the #1 service that you'll find on Fiverr, right? That's like, I think the stat was like 34 or 35%, and it's completely saturated. But
Yeah, of those type of designers though. Like, those type of designers that are in there are willing to work for $5 to make you a design, because that's what they feel, that's what they're worth.
hey,
That's why I'm not
down.
there. That's why I'm not there, and I have my own following, and I'm willing to charge whatever I want. And that's what I think every designer should do, especially if they're, not only learning and going through college and building that up. Well, make a name for yourself, because
of course,
that's the thing. Like, I want to talk to like a lot of people that are in college, and they're going to graduate soon, because to me, like, they're just another number. And that's what I was technically too, before even trying to like build up a following. And that's just kind of the reality, and kind of get lost in all this.
So I mean, typically from my experience, okay, if you do quality work, you're always going to get business. And Glenn, you and I were talking earlier this week, or I don't know if it was earlier this week or late last week. I haven't done freelance work in some time. I mean, most of my work is done within Stanford University. And I was approached by a couple of friends because they know, I was recommended, and that they know that I do good work. So I got a couple of freelance jobs, gigs, whatever you want to call it, lined up. Again, because I don't go out advertising myself, because again, I don't do that much freelance work, but it's because, again, people know I do quality work. I was recommended by other people. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always good to have your own following, and just create your own market, right? But Chris, hey, we really appreciate you being on here. and talking about your experience on Fiverr as a content creator. Any last words before we go?
No, not really. I guess, I understand, like, yeah, Fiverr could be a bad place and all, and often it is and stuff. If people want to pay me $100 per design, I could be putting like 3 hours of work into it. But I think what people want is sales, and if they get sales, they come back. So, like, whether it's $10 or $15 a design, if it's making them sales, that tends to be repeat customers and stuff. And I understand the cream will rise, the cream will rise up to the top. But yeah, perhaps you can show the group an example of a quality design that you've made. I'm not asking to share a niche, but perhaps, because we're on a podcast and we can't see any samples
Yeah.
of your
No,
subjective
I mean,
what a quality design is.
okay.
I think we need that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I think I wouldn't want to share my own personal designs because some of them are selling really good. But I can definitely share an example of what I consider, again, nothing too elaborate, but a good design, but yet it's simple. I can definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that's what the group desperately needs, really, just because we need some context. That's what it's lacking.
Exactly, yeah, and that's kind of what's lacking within the community right now. It's like there's tons of groups and there's tons of courses and there's tons of books, and they all talk about the same thing really, which is, hey, this is how I upload my shirt, this is how I do my keywords, but no one really talks about the design aspect of it. And I agree with you that information is lacking within the community.
Teachers your way.
What was that, Glenn?
About graphics design, and like we've done a podcast. How can we? There's no visualness in the podcast. So
exactly. No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Young, teach us your ways. Professional designs. We can sit there, watch you. 45 minutes for the one design.
You
Take
can
some
watch
notes.
me. You can watch me, but I don't know if I'm a good teacher.
You can do one on kerning.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, one whole section.
Yeah, there you go. But again, hey Chris, thank you so much for being here. I know it's super late there. I'll have the episode up within the next day or two. And hey, I've never been out there. I would love to come out and hang out with you one of these days, man. I love to travel, so maybe when I do, man, we can link up and get a couple of beers, and you can show me your hood.
Yeah, sure. I'll teach you how to make some simple designs.
This guy. Right on, brother. Well, thanks, guys. All right, man.
See ya.
Interesting show, Chris. Again, thank you for being on the show and providing your opinion on Fiverr. And guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty much done talking about Fiverr. I think we pretty much beat this topic down. It's I just don't want to discuss it anymore. I think most people pretty much know by now how I feel about it. If you guys have any questions about it, I'll be glad to talk about it, but otherwise there's no reason for me to talk about it anymore. But we do appreciate Chris being on here. What do you think about the interview?
That was pretty good. I mean, he was pretty cool about it.
He was cool, man. He was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we know. I mean, he knows how we feel, and we know, I guess, what he's doing and how he feels about it. So I mean, it was open. Like Yong said, it was like an open challenge out there, because Yong was like, "Yo, anybody want to battle out there that's selling stuff on Fiverr, want to get on this podcast right now, you contact me, yo. We'll get you on." And then that's exactly what happened. Hey, he was honest about it. He wanted to be on. So we got him
on. But yeah, no, he and I think the best thing to do at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, whether you go on Fiverr or Upwork or whatever site you guys go on. It's your responsibility to interview the person. I mean, essentially, they're applying for a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's your responsibility to interview them and find out who they are and what kind of background that they have. But yeah, cool guy. Again, nothing personal on Chris. But before we go, again, as always, if you guys haven't heard by now, designcandy.io, man, I'm telling you, those guys are doing good things. They have pre-designed uh, t-shirt designs on their site. It's already been researched and everything. All you got to do is just sign up and just pick and choose whatever design you guys want. You mentioned our names, Glenn, Yong, Merch Minds, whatever. Uh, Travis will take care of you, and he'll give you 2 free designs just for dropping Merch Minds. He'll take care of you. Again, that's designcandy.io. Good people. I use them myself. So um, other than that, we do have some closing announcements. Glenn,
Yes, sir.
what are you falling asleep?
You're like, Glenn, go ahead. So I wanted to throw this out there. We've gotten a lot of
Yes.
emails over time, and I got to tell you, like, since the podcast, emails, DMs, texts, a bunch of stuff has just exploded. I'm really like, my main goal is just to get back to everybody, which for the most part I've done pretty good at. But there's a lot of people that want, like, individual attention that I'm like, man, like, I really, really want to do that too. Help people out any way that I can. So we've gotten emails and suggestions about Merch by Amazon coaching by me and by Yong. And me and Yong have talked about it too. Is this something we want to do? Obviously, we want to help people. And so right now we have a landing page on merchminds.com. Merchminds.com. Go right there. Nothing is official right now as far as like pricing, what to get into, all of these things. If you're interested in Merch by Amazon coaching by me and or Yong, we want to get into a discussion with you, see what you're into, what are you having trouble with. All you got to do is put in your name, your email address, and then we're going to go from there. It's a very early stage. We just want to get a head count. Who's interested in something like this? They're not going to be like individual courses for you to rewatch over and over again. We want to make sure this is individual attention to where you're actually talking to me or Yong, through Skype or Google Hangout or something, so that we can help you the best way that we can. So right now, merchminds.com, go to that landing page, put in your name and your email address. We also have one question just to see what kind of topic you're interested in, and then we'll go from there and see what we do. I mean, we're just very, very early.
Yeah. And again, just to kind of reiterate what Glenn just said, we're getting, oh my gosh, I mean, and we're getting tons of messages, email, on Facebook, and unfortunately, and maybe, I guess it's fortunate, I don't get text messages like you do. Actually, I guess I do every now and then. Now I think about it, but and we've always said that we're gonna respond to every messages that we get, and we've been pretty good about doing that, but it's gotten to the point where it's getting really overwhelming. And Glenn, I know for a fact if I'm getting a lot of messages, you're probably getting 3 or 4 times more messages than I am, because you're obviously doing YouTube, and you're out there doing a lot more things to make yourself available. So I know if I'm getting tons of email, I know for a fact you're getting tons of email, and it's getting to the point where I'm spending literally 2 hours out of my day, no joke, 2 hours out of my day responding to messages. And I know you're spending a lot more time than I am, Glenn. And it's getting to the point where we're spending a lot of time, and we want to try and help as many people as we can, but at the same time, it's just like it's getting really overwhelming. So, like Glenn said, we had talked about maybe offering some coaching services, which many of you guys have asked. When we thought about it, we talked about it. Nothing's official. It might not even happen, but we're just like, let's just ask people if they're interested. If you guys are interested, maybe we'll work something out. But again, this is just to see. This is just a poll for you guys to go and and check it out. And if you're interested, let us know. But nothing's in the works yet. We're just again just trying to figure out who's interested. And again, as Glenn said, there's a lot of great courses out there, but there are pre-recorded videos. This is something that we're gonna, if you are interested, we're gonna, again, either through Skype or Google Hangout, we're gonna teach you exactly what we're doing as far as trying to make merch work for us. We're gonna teach you the same techniques. I'm sorry, go ahead, Glenn.
And just, any way we can help you out in the way, because everybody has different ways of approaching it. And I don't think that I don't know if anybody can get the high quality attention that they need through just watching videos or tutorials. I mean, people do need extra help on it, but everybody has different ways of approaching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they do have a design background, if they don't, are they outsourcing? Are they not? Are keywords? Are they what they're struggling with? What tier are they on? There's so many different factors in there that it's kind of hard that I think, one video can help the same, different people when everybody's in a different situation. So, that's just what way can we, I don't know, better help people out there. That's what we're trying to figure out.
And again, look, there's great courses out there. We're not knocking them, but it's just that sometimes people want that extra attention. People want to ask questions on the spot, and that's something that Glenn and I were thinking about doing, again, because when people are asking us, hey, do you guys offer coaching? Well, we were first thinking about doing a course, and then we were like, well, there's a bunch of courses out there already, and if you're going to do something like this, how can we make it different? And the one idea that we came up was if you're going to do coaching, it has to be live, so that way you guys can interact with us and ask any questions you have. Okay, if it takes 3 hours for us to sit with you through a live hangout, gosh darn it, we're going to sit with you for 3 hours. Okay, we're not going to say, oh, it's been 60 minutes, your time is up. No, none of that. We'll sit with you for as long as we can until you understand exactly what we're doing. But again, guys, this is, it's not set in stone.
Early. Yeah,
very early. We might not even do it. We're just trying to see who's interested, because we do know that there's a handful of you that are interested. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
And Denver's also really, really early as far as like what we're gonna do as far as a meetup goes. Correct. But once we have all of that info in and exactly what we want to do, I mean, we're gonna let everybody know about that and see how we can really just meet up with all the listeners. I mean, that's like our main thing, and what they're doing in merch, and it's just cool just to meet people, not only like when I met like YouTube subscribers, but now listeners of the podcast. I mean, it's really, really cool. That's what we want to do. So we'll let everybody know once that comes around. We have some official plans for Denver.
Absolutely. And just a last minute notice. I still can't make up my damn mind. I'm considering, I was originally supposed to go to Southern California over the 4th of July weekend. I'm now considering going up to Portland, leaving tomorrow. Maybe, there's a good chance. If anyone's interested in meeting up in Portland, Oregon, let me know. Otherwise, I'm done with the podcast, at least for this episode. Glenn, any closing thoughts or comments?
Nope.
Okay, well, cool. Guys, thank you. It's been a great show. Glenn, I told your ass I was going to catch up to you, and I finally did. That's how we're going to close out the show. I'm a winner. You're a loser. But you're still my boy.
We'll make sure we edit that out before we finish.